We often have conversations about oil on this channel and maintenance intervals and stuff like that. And some of the conversations that we get into in the comments section on the videos are pretty important. There's a lot of stuff talked about in the comments section that you don't get through the video because I only have so long and can only remember so much while putting out videos. One of the things that me and the boys often talk about are these OCIs that are just out of control. These 7,500 mile OCIs, the 10,000 mile OCIs, with the new Toyotas, Fords, Chevys, all these other vehicles that do consume oil. It's not a completely total sealed system. It's going to happen. Why do you think the manufacturers recommend the levels that they do, but don't ever think about the amount of oil that's consumed every 1,000 miles? Some of them are half a quart to a quart. Some manufacturers are telling people that this is normal. Look at all the Toyota oil consumption videos on these newer vehicles that are out all over the internet. And guys are talking about, I'm using a quart every 1,000 miles because there's something defective, or that's not a very good design. What is it? An oil control ring. It's just not doing its job. What about the Ford, what is that, 17 and 18 5-liter? Where guys were saying it's just consuming oil way too fast. What about some of the GM trucks where guys are saying I'm going through a half a quart of oil every 1,000 miles? Well, if that's the case and you're going 7,500 miles, 10,000 miles between oil changes, how much oil are you low when that oil gets dropped? Well, let's just do the basic math. If you have 6 quarts of oil in your vehicle and you're burning a half a quart every 1,000 miles and you're changing your oil at 10,000 miles, do the math. A half a quart every 1,000 miles at 10,000 miles, half of 10,000 is 5,000, so 5 quarts every 10,000 miles you're eating up. Either you're not really losing the oil that you're saying you're losing, or when you drop your oil, you're super low and you're doing more damage than what it's worth going that 10,000 miles just so you can change your oil at a later interval, because it inconveniences you to go in and change your oil sooner. So let's go at 5,000 miles. 5,000 mile oil change interval. Half of that would be 2.5 quarts, right? You're low 2.5 quarts of oil. So if you have a six quart system, all you have is 3.5 quarts still in that vehicle if you're consuming oil. So do you really think going by the manufacturer's OCI is really the optimal oil change interval? It's something to think about, guys. That's why I always tell people at 3,000 miles, but no more than 5,000. I do a 3,000 mile oil change on my vehicles, and I go no more than that because I know no system is perfect and it's going to burn some oil, and you are going to have a low oil level when you go get your oil changed. It's been this way for years. Manufacturers have a spec for oil consumption and say it is normal for engines to use oil. Then if that's the case, why are you stepping it out thousands of miles but still saying that engines do use oil, but not making people aware you can go 10,000 miles, but it's probably recommended to do it by 5,000, if not as close to 3,000 as possible. There's a reason why we had a 3,000 mile or 3-month oil change interval. It works, and it doesn't leave the system super low. Think about it.